Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is exploring why standard rest like taking a long vacation or sleeping in all weekend often completely fails to cure burnout. Instead, we are looking at how somatic, first aid, and play bridge the gap to real recovery, especially for folks like creators who really blur those lines between life and work.
Right.
We're pulling from a great stack of sources today. We've got clinical insights from doctors, advice from therapists, and raw personal accounts from creators who have navigated this exact struggle.
Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever taken a vacation or maybe slept for 12 straight hours, only to wake up still feeling totally exhausted, cynical, and just dreading the day?
Yeah, that is a wildly common experience in the sources. And what's fascinating here is that burnout isn't actually a rest problem at all.
Yeah,
It's a stuck nervous system problem.
right, like the body's trauma responses. Exactly. Since you're probably already familiar with the body's trauma responses, we don't really need to rehash sympathetic arousal here. But what these clinical accounts highlight is that when you are chronically stressed, your body gets trapped in that highly activated state.
Like an alarm going off in the background.
Yes, precisely. Trying to just go to sleep is futile because your internal alarm system is still blaring, even if your eyes are closed.
Wow, that completely reframes why a week on a beach doesn't magically reset you. I mean, if the internal alarm is still ringing, changing the external scenery isn't going to turn it off.
That's a great way to put it. The environment changes, but the biology hasn't. This relates directly to research by the Nagoski twins featured in our stack, who emphasize that we must complete the stress cycle.
Complete this stress cycle.
Right. Simply stopping work or shutting your laptop doesn't automatically clear out the adrenaline and cortisol that have been frying your internal systems for months. Those circulating stress chemicals demand a physical resolution before they let you actually rest.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You cannot simply think your way out of burnout. You can't logic your brain into turning off the alarm just by looking at a completed to-do list.
No, definitely not.
You have to physically signal safety to your body. So how do the medical and therapeutic sources suggest we actually go about doing that?
Well, they lean into what's called somatic first aid. One highly effective immediate intervention is hydrotherapy, specifically taking a 68-degree cold shower.
A 68-degree shower? That sounds more like a punishment than recovery when you're already exhausted.
I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, but that sudden, intense thermal shift acts like a system reboot. It forces your body to focus on the immediate physical sensation.
Which distracts the brain.
Exactly. And it can instantly trigger the production of feel-good neurochemicals in the brain, breaking that loop of chronic stress. Another really profound example comes from observing animal behavior. When animals in the wild survive a physical threat, they don't just curl up and go to sleep.
What do?
They physically shake their entire bodies, often for several minutes. They are literally vibrating that pent-up survival energy out of their musculature.
I love that visual. Moving that trapped energy out of the body rather than just sitting with it buzzing under your skin makes so much sense. The creators in our sources also talk a lot about sensory regulation. They mention embracing stimming, whether that's swaying back and forth, pacing the room, cocooning under a heavy-weighted blanket, or just playing a specific song on repeat for hours. Rather than trying to mask those behaviors, they use them as vital emotional first aid to self-soothe.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows us that recovery is far more active than just lying in a dark room doing nothing. Several therapists in our stack point to a skill used in dialectical behavior therapy known as accumulating positives.
Accumulating positives.
Yeah, it's a clinical term, but in practice, it just means purposefully engaging in low-energy activities that bring you genuine joy or comfort.
Like what? Give me an example of how that looks in reality.
Well, one doctor in our sources shared her own burnout recovery story, noting that her very first step wasn't intensive meditation or advanced therapy. It was simply reading terribly cheesy fantasy novels.
Oh, I love that.
Right. She needed something purely engaging that required zero performance or output. Doing things strictly for the joy of it, accumulating those tiny positive experiences, actually helps recharge the cognitive depletion of a burnt-out brain.
So what does this all mean? It means that prioritizing fun, embracing your special interests, and just being silly isn't some conditional luxury you only earn when the inbox is finally at zero. For you, it's a required part of the healing process.
Fun isn't the reward for recovering from burnout, it's an active mechanism of your recovery.
To truly recover, you need to stop ignoring your body's distress signals. You have to intentionally put in the physical effort to complete the stress cycle, move that trapped energy out, and deliberately make room for play.
This raises an important question. If we diligently schedule our meetings, block out time for chores, and set alarms for our sleep, what would happen if we started scheduling moments of totally unproductive, silly fun as a non-negotiable medical requirement?